In its quest to provide an open forum for discussion of controversial issues, this station allows hosts and their guests to express themselves without any significant censorship. You're advised that any views expressed by the hosts or their guests are not necessarily the views of Togi Entertainment or its partners.
Motherhood Incorporated proudly presents Military Mom Talk Radio live on TogiNet.com. Co-hosted by Robin Boyd and Sandra Beck, the owner of Motherhood Incorporated. Military Mom Talk Radio is here with a powerful platform for women to discuss their ideas, issues, and concerns with respect to the military lifestyle. Military Mom Talk Radio encourages you to share your experiences of being a military wife and mother. This show is dedicated to educating your family about the many resources that are available in both the public and private sector, and we'll be sharing helpful information from women all over the world. We'll cover everything military, from helping a family member cope with post-traumatic stress disorder, to navigating government programs dealing with family issues, to the struggles of deployment, along with being a working mother both in and out of the home. This is Military Mom Talk Radio, and here are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, military moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd and Doris Rivas-Brecky. And we are, I don't know about you, Robin and Doris, but I'm just kind of post-turkeyed out.
It's always hectic having family, and it's always wonderful, but it does tire you out. It does kind of get, okay, back to normal. That's hard.
See, and mine is actually a little different, and I think for a lot of single moms out there, it's probably the same thing. I have, for those of you who are not regular listeners, a 5-year-old and an 8-year-old super picky eater, and when you have a 20-pound turkey and there's 2 little kids and me, I got to tell you, we've had turkey and rice, turkey tacos, turkey soft tacos, chicken and turkey, meatballs. God, I mean, I don't know what else to do with the turkey, and I already gave the stuffing to the dog, so I just, I think the turkey, it's just don't even say the word turkey.
Oh, but it's good that you had a good time and being with family, and that's what it's all about.
It is what it's all about. And I want to take a moment, not to open the show on a tough note, but I want to honor Blake Cadaret. He was my son's advocate at Meadowlark School in the 1st grade. He was a high school student who would come and volunteer time in the classroom for kids who were working on certain projects, and he used to do that every school day for my son Max, who was 6 at the time, and my son Max was struggling with the divorce and some other things. His best friend went to Japan, so this young man stepped in by the grace of God and took care of my son in school and functioned as a big brother for a calendar year, and he was killed on Thursday in a car accident. And so I want to dedicate this show to him and in his honor, and with his family, our neighbors, to support them in honoring their wonderful son. So I just wanted to say that.
Wow. Our prayers go out to the family, and that's always so hard around the holidays to be having to celebrate someone's life at this time of the year. I think it's even harder. It's always hard, but I think it's hard at this time of the year.
It is. You're right, Robin. It's hard at any time. One of the things they did, which I thought was really a lot of fun way to celebrate this young man's life, who was just turned 18, and we had a party at their house. Instead of a really sad funeral, there was a party at his house, and the mom, Ellen, asked everybody to dress in bright colors because Blake was known for his orange T-shirts and his pink T-shirts and his crazy Hawaiian prints. And so I have to say, of a lot of the different ways we've celebrated life, to go there and to see everybody talking about him in bright colors, I just think he would have really liked it.
Oh, it is true. It has to be a celebration. I think that's part of what gets us through and gets us to the point where we are keeping those people by our side is to have a celebration. Yeah.
So I just thought, what a cool way to celebrate this young man. I know many of our listeners, when we did our TAP show, we had a lot of people write in, part of our, service members and their families is, creative ways to honor our loved ones who have passed on or who have been killed, in service. And I just thought that was just really amazing. It just made a difference in how I will remember this young man, which is with a big smile on my face.
Wonderful. Wonderful.
So do we have any news? I know, Doris, you have some news we can use. Rob, do you have any news for us this week?
Well, I've got a couple of things that you forwarded to me, but I'll let Doris go because I know she's got something prepared, as always.
Thank you. And happy holidays, Robin and Sandra. And to all our military moms out there, here is news you can use. Sandra and Robin, did you know that a record 4.2 million Americans were on the road or in the air this past Thanksgiving?
Oh, wow.
Wow, it's like one of the busiest travel days. Or is it because, it's a non-denominational, like nationally celebrated holiday?
I don't know, but I was impressed with the number because, supposedly the economy is so bad and so forth, and yet we still had a record amount of people, out there. Well, anyway, here's another interesting statistic. Online sales are projected to surpass, for the first time ever, $50 billion, that's as in B, dollars this season, according to ABC World News.
I'm going to support that because I look at how many times I go into, yes, because I'm a total internet girl, but, I go to the grocery store and maybe on occasion Walmart, but 90% of the other things I buy, whether it's books, music, movies, clothes, all this stuff now, because especially like LL Bean does free return shipping. It's like, why would I take the time to go in a mall and walk around when I can order a whole bunch of stuff on the internet? It comes to the privacy of my own home. I don't have to spend the gas or the time to get there. I can try all this stuff on and determine, do I look fat? Do I not look fat? And the fat clothes go back and the good clothes stay.
Excellent point. Excellent. And you just helped the $50 billion sales.
Oh, well, I'm going to tell you another one.
They can count on you.
Yep. Go to mysimon.com and nectag.com. That's nextag.com. These two sites allow you to search for the best prices on the web. So like one year for my ex-husband, may he rest in peace. Not really. But he wanted these blankets, these Beater Deck, whatever blankets for the Chicago Bulls, the Bears, the Cubs, the Sox. Well, these are really expensive blankets, like $50-$60 each if you buy them, online at a sports store. So I searched Nextag and My Simon, and I found some retailer like out of Georgia selling the blanket for $15.95. Another one in like Ohio selling it for $19.95. And I was able to find the best prices on the net for the products I was looking for, the exact same product. So you might spend $5 for shipping, but I think I bought all 6 blankets for less than $120 when normally they would be like $60 a piece. So it's definitely worth to get on the internet when you're looking for a product that you want to buy and use mysimon.com or nextag.com to see, who's got it on sale.
Wow, right on. Okay, well, you did help the industry with that. Anyway, I do have one other thing, and it's a story. Can I maybe do it in the 4 minutes we have left?
Yes.
Better go.
Okay, I'll do it real fast, but I think it's timely. It's something that I found on the internet, and it's called the sack lunch, and maybe you guys have seen it. It's a story about a woman on an airline beginning a long trip, and just before she takes off, a bunch of soldiers get on the plane, and they sit all around her. And she decides to start chatting with them and finds out that they're all going to Afghanistan. So anyway, about an hour into the flight, they announced that sack lunches will be available for $5. and the woman's going to have a lunch, and she overhears the soldiers talking about the sack lunch, and that it seemed like kind of a lot of money, and that they would wait to eat until they got to their destination. So the woman goes to the back where the flight attendants are and gives them $50 and says, give lunches to all the soldiers. So the attendant gets all emotional because it turns out that she had a son who served in Iraq, and she thanked this woman for buying the lunches. Anyway, the story goes on. She goes to the restroom, and a passenger stops her and gives her $25 to help out because she saw what she did. And then later again, the captain comes by and thanks her and tells her that he was a military pilot, and someone had bought him a lunch at one time when he was in the military, and he never forgot the kindness. So all the passengers hear this, and they start clapping for this woman, and of course she's embarrassed. But anyway, so then another passenger passes by and hands her $25 and thanks her for doing what she did. Then she enters the church. Money at this point? Yeah. Well, I mean, I was thinking about the whole abundance thing. When you give, it comes back double fold. Anyway, so she gets to the terminal and she sees all these soldiers gathering, and she gives them the money and she says, it's going to take a while to get to the base, so here's some money for your next sandwich. And she says, God bless to them. So anyway, the point to this story is that we need to show love and gratitude to our military personnel, and I'm hoping with all the people that are traveling out there that if you see someone in uniform, go up and say hi and, maybe buy them a cup of coffee or something.
What a good idea. We need to pay it forward a lot more than we do, and I think that's so important.
Well, when you think about such a simple thing, which is, a sandwich when you're hungry or you're traveling, and, we ask so much of our service members and their families, what is it to buy somebody a cup of coffee or offer a sandwich, or even more importantly, go up and say, hey, thanks for your service.
Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. We are so excited today. We're going to have Fuzzy Manning on after the break. Our good friend Fuzzy, who is from PTSTreatment.com. He always has some wonderful insight for us. I also wanted to make sure that we all said happy birthday to the USS Enterprise. She is 50 years of service this year, and there has been a tribute, a video posted by the United States Navy, so you can go to their website and see a wonderful tribute for the USS Enterprise. It is the first nuclear-powered aircraft carrier, the 8th U.S. vessel to be named Enterprise, including the one from Star Trek, I wonder.
That's the one I thought. I'm like, wow, we're doing a Star Trek reference?
I know. But great work to all who have served on the USS Enterprise.
And live long and prosper.
Live long and prosper, and we'll be back with Fuzzy Manning after the tunes. Don't go away.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
Ready for the most current feel-good gossip? Then check out Daytime with Donna with your host, Donna Introcaso, and sidekick Nina Fry. Every Friday afternoon at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. You're simply the best. Better than all the rest. Donna is a charismatic, market-driven entrepreneur who was part of the team that founded iVillage.com, which is the largest content-driven community for women today. Donna and Nina are here to empower you, motivate you, and encourage you in all aspects of your life. It's like Oprah on the radio. Plus, your chance to win great prizes, all the way up to a $500 Visa gift card. For more on Donna Introcaso, check out her website, introinc.com. Then join us for the show, Daytime with Donna, with your host, Donna Introcaso, and sidekick Nina Fry. Friday afternoons at 2, 1 Central on TogiNet.com. Want to be challenged in a powerful way to leap beyond what you think is possible? Then join us Mondays for the Leah Jansen Show. Every Monday at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com with Leah Jansen. Listen live as life coach Leah uses her coaching skills to give you the tools you need to take action and create momentum. You are encouraged to call in and share your greatest fears, challenges, and obstacles. And then listen as Leah obliterates those barriers to success. For more on Leah and the show, check out her website, leahjansen.com. That's Leah, LeahJantzen.com. Spend 1 hour with Leah, and you'll be captivated by her energy, enthusiasm, and magnetism. You'll quickly become addicted to her positive attitude and make it happen mentality. Ready for a life-changing, mood-altering show? Then get ready for Leah Jansen and listen live to The Leah Jansen Show every Monday morning at 10 a.m., 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
You put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd and Doris Rivas-Brecky, and our guest today is Fuzzy Manning. We've had Fuzzy on a couple times in the past. We never seem to get through our material. I don't know why that is, Robin. Maybe because we all talk too much.
We just babble, and poor Fuzzy never gets into words.
No, but that's a man for you. When you get on the air with three women, what can you expect?
God bless him.
Yeah, but I'm going to give you a preview of today's show. We're going to talk about some alternative therapies for post-traumatic stress. And, this is so great because we've had shows about traditional modalities, traditional treatments, and we're going to talk about things like Reiki, massage, acupuncture, positive visualization, gratitude, journaling, all these cool different things, and a lot of them you can do at home. You can do them for free. But before we do, we have an important message from Military Children's Charity.
We do indeed. We received a press release this week. Military Children's Charity is excited to announce that Southern California's celebrated Christian radio station 95.9 The Fish is hosting a concert by national Christian recording artist Brandon Heath. And this is on Sunday, November 27th. Oh my goodness, it was yesterday. So we want to make sure that, but it was yesterday, but I'll bet if you go to the website, you're going to find, I know, I'm just reading the release now. However, they are still taking some gifts. They were accepting gifts at the concert, but they're still accepting gifts through November 30th at Orange County Industrial, and that's at 1335 South Alec Street at Anaheim, California. Now, their phone number is 714-532-1900, and they want to accept any unwrapped gift, and they're giving some suggestions of baby toys, toddler toys, Barbies or other dolls, Legos, board games, electronics, video games, music CDs, age-appropriate CDs, in other words, none that are R-rated, books, journals, diaries, stuffed animals that might be in plastic bags, please, tool sets or toolboxes, teen cologne and perfume, sporting equipment, teen makeup cases and accessories. And if you would prefer to do gift cards, they would love to receive Target, Walmart, Babies R Us, Toys R Us, Best Buy, Barnes & Noble, Amazon.com, and iTunes. Earlier this year, 95.9 The Fish partnered with MCC for a back-to-school drive that was extremely successful, and they want to honor all of the military children who sacrifice so much each and every day as they support their loved ones who bravely serve our nation. And so they're asking you to help 95.9 The Fish, Brandon Heath, and MCC to give back to America's youngest heroes with your donation to show your appreciation. You can find more information at militarychildrenscharity.org or visit thefish959.com.
Well, and Rob, that's so great. I mean, I know we were, a day late and a dollar short on the charity event, but, military children's charities are so important. Obviously, militarychildrencharity.com is important.
Yes.
But when we look at supporting our military families, before we go to Fuzzy, I just, of course, want to make a statement about our military children. They don't ask to serve. And these kids, and I see it time and time again, especially with the PCS moves, they might, have the opportunity to live around the world, but they have to say goodbye to their friends every couple of years. They move to a new base. They have to go to a new school. Some of them are homeschooled, by virtue of where they are. And people don't join the military to get rich. So when we look at our military children's charities, they are our littlest heroes, and they're our unsung heroes, and they are our heroes that didn't ask to serve. They serve by proxy of their family. And I don't think enough can be said about honoring the children of our service members, because they not only put up with a lot, but then they have their parents gone a lot of the times, and that's really tough for any kid.
Sure is. They are a wonderful organization whose link, by the way, is on our website, militarymomtalkradio.com. And if you listen to last week's podcast, we did an encore that included our visit with the folks from Military Children's Charity. So do listen to that encore, and please go and visit their website.
Yay. All right. We're going to go over to Fuzzy Manning. He's been very, very patient. And as always, Fuzzy, you got to chime in, because we're going to talk about alternative therapies today for post-traumatic stress. And for those of you who have not listened to Fuzzy before, Fuzzy, can you give us a quick soundbite on who you are, what you do, and what you stand for?
Basically, what I do is integrative trauma care, in a sense, taking care of veterans and family members dealing with PTS, TBI, combat fatigue, stress, those individuals that are maybe experienced military sexual assault, and also the traumas that family members are dealing with. I help them in numerous ways, and what I found out is that there's a tremendous amount of resources out there, and it's about sharing those resources with family members and veterans. And that's also why we just bring the different practitioners and clinicians together and pool their resources so we can better serve those in need. And that's basically the way I came up with integrative trauma care.
Now, Fuzzy, based on our last couple shows, we got some neat questions, and they were concerning some things that we didn't even talk about. And I'm going to throw these at you, but I'm going to throw them to you before. Some questions about Reiki, acupuncture, positive visualization, gratitude, and journaling. These are some things that people have been asking about in the treatment of stress relief for post-traumatic stress. Can we go to Reiki first?
Reiki, yes. Reiki, in a sense, helps deal with the nervous system, helps deal with blood flow, heart rate, and helps slow that down. And I think alternative therapies are great, but I think we also have to start realizing that the majority of alternative therapies only deal with the symptoms. If we want to start looking at the cause, what's underneath that, because if we don't deal with the cause, it's going to reoccur time and time again. And we need to look at starting breaking that cycle. And breaking the cycle, in a sense, is identifying the cause. Some of the things that individuals may be faced with is stress, anxiety, can't sleep at night. We may have a Reiki session. We may have hypnotherapy. We may do rolfing, yoga. It may deal with some of the symptoms, but if we start looking at some of the causes may be an enhanced heart rate, also high blood pressure, also lack of an adequate diet. They're not digesting the food and they're not getting the nutrition in the body. So it's just an overall process. It's nice to have the alternative therapies available, but we have to be aware of that they don't address everything.
But they will give relief. That was one of the things that
they will identify. They will target certain symptoms.
So, like, for example,
relief.
like yoga or Reiki. And if you can explain what Reiki is, because that was one of the questions that we were posed.
Basically, Reiki is just connecting to the energy and the vibes in the body. It's helping an individual to relax. It's helping an individual to maybe get rid of an anger issue. Maybe it's helping an individual to lower their stress level. It's working with the energy, or we could say the emotional energy, the charge of the body.
Okay.
Yoga does something similar to that, too.
So yoga does that. Now, what about movement therapy? That's another thing where people, whether it's working out or dancing, the whole prospect of just movement in order to, cause our stress level to go down.
Yes, movement is great. Yoga, dance class, Tai Chi, Qigong, any type of movement, what it will do will open the body back up. Stress and depression and anxiety and post-traumatic stress have a tendency to close the body down. In a sense, slower breathing down, slower heart rate. If we have a chance to open the body back up, to expand, start breathing deeper, we're much more in a space that we can provide some assistance for our body to function better. It's a piece to the puzzle, and maybe we need to get a hold of a better diet, or maybe in a sense being around people that are more positive, less negativity in their lives. All these alternative processes are pieces to the puzzle, and we start aligning a bunch of these pieces together and have them start working. Then we're talking about having a wellness plan, or a health and wellness plan that works for the veteran and their family.
And there again, it's so important to be doing this as a family unit, not just one person and not just looking at just the individual, but having the whole family unit together. We're going to a break, Fuzzy. We're going to pick this right up on the other side of the commercial break. We're talking today with Fuzzy Manning from PTSTreatment.com and his philosophies and insights and experience with integrative trauma care. You can find us at www.militarymomtalkradio.com. You can always find our podcasts there or here on TogiNet. We are on iTunes, and please find us on Facebook. We're there. We love hearing your comments, and your emails coming in are really great, and it's fuel for us not only to ask our existing guests, but we have lots more guests coming in 2012 that we just can't wait to share with you. So we look for your feedback, and we'll be back with Fuzzy Manning right after these messages.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
The Mary Beth Wells Hour is a talk radio show where we reach out, reach deep, and talk about topics of substance. We'll cover points of interest, such as World War II and the Holocaust, the Vietnam War, the planets and the oceans, skydiving, rock climbing, and much, much more. Join me every Monday at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time as we delve into and discuss fascinating subjects. It's a program to pique your interest for sure.
Parents, if you feel overloaded, overworked, underappreciated, and seriously stressed out, The Parents Plate is here to help you. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesday mornings at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet. It's time to build stronger families through parent empowerment. And that's what The Parents Plate does. The Parents Plate understands the busyness of life and balancing child rearing and other commitments. Brenda Nixon will be talking to noted experts and authors on all issues, from teething to teen driving. Brenda Nixon is a nationally recognized speaker to parents and child care professionals and author of the award-winning The Birth to 5 book. From Fox 4 in Kansas City to schools and synagogues to businesses to bookstores, conferences to churches, audiences rave that Brenda engages, educates, and encourages. For more information on Brenda and her books, check out her website, brendanixon.com. The Parents Plate is loaded with information and affirmation. The Parents Plate with Brenda Nixon. Tuesdays at 10 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Central on TogiNet.com.
There ain't no doubt I love this land. God bless the USA.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com, covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hey, military moms, this is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd and Doris Rebus-Brecky, and our guest today is Fuzzy Manning, and we'd love having Fuzzy come on our show for a couple reasons. One, he talks about alternative treatments and integrative therapies for things like post-traumatic stress, which is when you have a course of different things to help identify the cause and ease the symptoms of the post-traumatic stress. And we had a show a couple weeks back, if you guys would like to tune in, on alternative therapies for post-traumatic stress. And we got some mail that came in from that show. And we have a reader or a listener from Ohio, from Cleveland, Ohio, and another one who came in from Hobbs, New Mexico. And Fuzzy, they both kind of asked the same thing. They said not everyone has the ability, the location, or the means to have an integrative therapist, work a custom plan out, and they may not have access to some of the different treatment modalities in their area. They're in small towns, and we know a lot of our servicemen and women come from small towns and rural areas, and they could be a couple hundred miles away from a VA treatment center or different treatment centers, and some of these things just plumb aren't offered in our small towns. So, Fuzzy, what do we do?
There's a couple of different things we can do. It's looking at what do you have available. If you have Wi-Fi or internet service or cell phone connection, you can always get in and connect with the YouTube video on yoga, on movement, on dance, on Tai Chi, to get an idea, the concept of what it's about. And it kind of fits with you. Also, too, is that if we start looking around our homes, what do we have in the home that we can use for, like, say, for exercise? Do we have a jump rope? Can we go walking, jogging, running? Can we go swimming? Can we go cycling? What else is also, too, is we can do isometric exercises. If we've got a ball in the house or something else, we can lean against the wall with a ball and slide up and down the wall, as long as Mom's not watching. And there's a lot of resources that we have around our homes. And what I'm doing is connecting clinicians, practitioners, and physicians together to look at how can we provide some services. And what I do is, on an ongoing basis with my people I deal with, my clients, is I Skype them. And basically we're, two cameras, we're looking at each other and say, okay, what do you have available? What do you want to do? What do you want to engage in? And what are some goals that you want to achieve? It's just you want to get more mobility because of your traumatic brain injury, because of your injuries to the body. And basically, we just sit down and map out a plan that works for you and one that you'll engage in and one that your family can support you in. And also, I'm a firm believer. I'm going to have the family do a modified plan that the veteran has to get them engaged in doing the same activities. So I'm a firm believer of using the resources that you have in the home, the environment. We'll do a Skype call. We'll lay out some details, some plans, and we'll just go forward. And plus, too, we'll find out who's in your area that maybe has produced a video, an audio, some information, some resources. I think there's enough resources out there. We just have to start connecting the dots.
So let's say we've got a family member, like this family member in rural New Mexico. He and his wife and kids, they could go online to YouTube and look up, yoga. They could do family yoga together. They could all go for a walk together. Now, this stuff, Fuzzy, honestly, it sounds really simple. You just have to do it. How does this help?
Basically, what it does is helps. Like anything else that we engage in as a family unit, if we're committed to doing it and we actually start seeing some of the benefits from it, we start sleeping better, we're less restless, there's less of an anger issue, kids are getting better grades in schools. We're only going to do something if we're seeing it and making some of the changes.
And I would think, Fuzzy, if we're a family member, we've got a family member that comes home that might have an external wound or an invisible wound, but we know something's wrong, and that's going to affect the whole family. So if we participate in what you'll say is like a group activity, like a walk, like a bike ride, like yoga or swimming, something that we do together as a family, not only would it relieve kind of the anxiety and the stress of the person who has the invisible or external wound, but it would allow the family members to help in some capacity, not only themselves, but to feel, I think one of the hardest things is these, what I hear from our listeners is that they feel helpless. They don't know what to do. They can't, solve this problem. They can't help, but they can help in participating in this activity with our service member.
They can participate. Also, the service member starts finding out he has got an awesome team at home. He's got an awesome team from the battlefield or command or duty station, but he's got an awesome team at home he can count on. And that's what he's looking for, or she. They're looking for some team members.
They're looking for some team members as part of the healing process. And the best thing about this, Fuzzy, is what we're talking about. We're not talking about spending any money. We're talking about just taking the time to get together.
Or if we want to, basically, I can go down to the rental store, the video store, and if I can't find anything online, what can I find out through a rental? What can I find out that maybe an individual through a local high school maybe be aware of? Maybe I can find out information or resources maybe that a high school coach has got, or maybe a dance instructor. Somebody has got the resources out there. We just have to get a little creative.
So what would they search for, Fuzzy? Like you say, to go and what would you ask a local high school teacher, or what would you search for on the internet?
What I would search for, let's say the high school teacher or the junior college, they have athletes. In a sense, they become injured. So what do they have that they're aware of? Do they have something in a diet plan, an exercise plan, a recovery plan? What does a local hospital have? What does a hospital have that's rehab? In a sense, what are those resources out there they're willing to share? They're willing to interact with. I think it's just us getting outside of maybe our comfort level and asking.
And also going outside of the military, which I know our families don't really do a whole lot. We kind of keep it to ourselves, keep it all, in the home. And what you're asking is to go outside, because post-traumatic stress affects everybody from a wide variety of circumstances, not just our military families and not just due to military service, if I'm hearing you correctly.
Yes. Post-traumatic stress affects your EMT, police, fire, ER, in a sense, all those individuals that are involved in first responders. They go home with the stress. It's the same as the veteran takes the stress home with them. So it's a big issue.
So, Fuzzy, let me get this. I want to clarify this because I really want to help our small town families and those who are not having access to these, what we call these, big traditional help agencies. So, conceivably, if there is a military wife who is friends with a police wife or a fireman's wife, per se, like Christy on my other show is a fireman's wife, and he's a first responder, and we know that they have things available for the first responding police and firemen and women, to handle this. So you're saying maybe this woman can say to another wife going, you know what, my ex-husband or my husband is having this trouble. We're looking for information on this. What do you know that's available that you could share with us? Or could you point me into someone I could call in the fire department or someone in the police department that could share some information with me for some resources? We're really talking about using our local communities and resource sharing.
It's using that, and also maybe it's calling up somebody like me, and do a Skype call and saying, okay, let's just sit down and brainstorm the whole family. What is it that we can do? Can we contact our network of Boy Scouts, Girl Scouts, and can we contact those individuals maybe in high school or dance class, in a sense, just start brainstorming where are those resources at in our community?
I think there are so many resources that we don't know about, and sometimes that's the most difficult thing, is to just make that first step, whether, like you say, Fuzzy, to be able to contact somebody that we wouldn't even think about. And sometimes I think it is true, we just don't know quite where to begin. And once we begin, then the doors are all open. So many internet opportunities, too, are found through blogs. We have a number of spousal blogs. There's some great ones either on militaryconnection.com, our friends over there. And I know you have a number of things on your website too. I'm sure people could go to PTStreatment.com and find all kinds of resources.
Yeah, it's just making that first call, that first contact, and saying, okay, this is what I would like to do. This is what I'm faced with, and you have some suggestions, and be ready to write.
Yeah. Be willing to take notes and be able to jot things down. Fuzzy, we have a lot more to talk about as far as some different treatment modalities when we get back. We have about 30 seconds before our next break. We want you always to check our podcast at militarymomtalkradio.com. We're also on our TogiNet page here at toginet.com. You'll find us at iTunes, and by all means, do visit PTStreatment.com for lots more information about Fuzzy and the information that he has available. We'll be right back after the messages on Military Mom Talk Radio.
Are you a military mom looking for help in dealing with the system? Keeping the home fires burning? Well, that's what we're here for. It's Military Mom Talk Radio with Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd. And we'll be right back after these.
LinkedIn. It's a great tool, and Carol McManus is the LinkedIn lady. With the LinkedIn Lady Show, Wednesday afternoons at 5, 4 Central on TogiNet.com. The LinkedIn Lady Show is here to show you and your business how every social media site has a specific demographic, personality, and purpose that can benefit you. The LinkedIn Lady will have interviews each week with a variety of guests. such as business owners who will showcase their businesses and talk about how they're using social media to stay in touch with not only customers, but to attract new relationships that become customers. Other guests will be experts in social media who will speak to the use of Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google, Plaxo, Squidoo, and of course, LinkedIn. For more on Carol and the show, check out her website, LinkedInLady.com. Join us, won't you? Every Wednesday afternoon at 4 Central. It's the LinkedIn Lady Show with host Carol McManus on TogiNet.com. Season Me is on TogiNet, a delightful, thoughtful, serious, and not-so-serious call-in show with Cecil Murphy and Twyla Belk. Tuesday nights at 8, 7 Central on TogiNet.com. You know Cease is the veteran author from 90 Minutes in Heaven, Gifted Hands, When a Man You Loved Was Abused, and many other books, as well as a mentor for writers. And Twyla Belk is an effervescent force known as the Gotta Tell Somebody gal. She's also a writer and motivational speaker who's always bragging on God. For more on Cecil Murphy, go to his website, Cecil Murphy, that's PHEY.com. And for Twyla, GottaTellSomebody.com. The show, Season Me, is a far-reaching, faith-based shared conversation and call-in show with questions welcome. A chance to get everything out in the open, from questions about writing to surviving sexual abuse to the topics of the day, all from a Christian worldview to help you. Season Me, Cecil Murphy, Twyla Belk, Tuesday evenings at 8, 7 Central on TogiNet.com.
Put a boot in your ass, it's the American way. Hey, Uncle Sam, put your name at the top of his list, and a statue of liberty started shaking.
Welcome back to Military Mom Talk Radio on TogiNet.com. Covering topics to help on the home front with help from those who know how the system works and how to work the system. It's more fun than a sale at the BX. Now let's get back to it. It's Military Mom Talk Radio. Here again are your hosts, Sandra Beck and Robin Boyd.
Hi, military moms. This is Sandra Beck, and I'm here with Robin Boyd and Doris Rivas-Brecky, and our guest today is Fuzzy Manning. And Fuzzy Manning is the owner and operator of a integrative therapy company that handles post-traumatic stress, and he specializes in our military families. And we brought him on because he has a little different philosophy from our traditional VA therapies. We're not endorsing any therapy over another. That's what an integrative therapist does. He works with a service member and their family to come up with the best possible plan for not only the easing of the symptoms of post-traumatic stress, but to get to the root cause. Fuzzy, did I get that right?
Yes.
Finally, it's only taken me 3 shows. Well, but it's a lot to, this is a lot to cover. It's a lot to understand. And
it's cumbersome.
It is. And, the thing that gets overwhelming that I think, Robin, I know it does for me, and, Doris, I don't know about you, but there's so many different things that we hear about the treatment of post-traumatic stress, and we get questions just as to, what this stuff is. Like, what is acupuncture? What is acupressure? What is hypnotherapy? And, Robin, I was wondering if you would want to go through some of these treatments of symptoms. We know they're not the treatment of the root cause, but if we can talk a little bit about these different treatments with Fuzzy to, I loved what he said about like yoga and movement therapy. I mean, that was just a different way to think of it. I didn't think of it that way. And, that's what our show's all about, in trying to help people think traditional versus alternative, so that we come up with, instead of traditional versus alternative, how about the best practice for our service members and their families?
And there again, it's different for every single person. There are going to be some things that are going to be helpful for one person to another, but then there are going to be things that are not are unique to each individual. How do you help someone, Fuzzy, if you've got that phone call calling in? What are the steps that you begin in order to decide what is going to be the best for this person?
What I usually want to do is get them on a Skype call, and then I can do face-to-face, and also I can interact with the family at the same time. Then I get some different viewpoints. I may get a specific viewpoint from the veteran, but Mama's going to tell me something different. And also, the kids may also, tell me something different too. So what I want to do is get right down to what's the hot button out there that you need to get fixed or addressed. Then next, in a sense of, we look at some different types of practices. We maybe look at changing your diet, maybe getting into an exercise plan. Maybe you start being aware of and educating yourself on the different therapies that may help you. You educate yourself. Also, too, don't expect the therapist, clinician, or physician to have all the answers. You have to pursue those too. And next, in a sense of who's on your team. Do you actually know who the members on your team? Can you count on them? Are they going to be reliable? Are they going to, support you? And also, too, you have to treat your team members well. If this process is going to move forward, in a sense, it's going to take all the team members involved. And if you're getting angry, abusive as a veteran, you're not going to get much support. Mm-hmm. So it's you being aware of what's your end result. What do you want? In a sense, my tagline is, when your life matters, we listen.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
I totally believe that. When you get serious about if you want to change your life and you're tired of being depressed, angry, and being an alcoholic and being an abuser, okay, fine. Now it's a starting point. How would you like to step forward? Would you like to address this on an ongoing basis, a part-time basis? What are you willing to put into the pot? And hopefully you want to put everything into that pot, your total energy, your total thought process, and realizing that if I'm not 100% committed, I can't have 100% results.
Do you find people are a little in denial at the beginning? Do you think that they really are saying, oh, this isn't for me? And how do you get beyond that?
Well, I find out a lot of them have already gone out and bought the bumper sticker that they're in denial, and it's just facing facts. It's no different than we just got through with a holiday season, and we know that Uncle Fred, drinks a little too much. Aunt Myrtle, tells a little too many stories and tell some stories that we don't need to know about. Mm-hmm. We also know there's different things, and people have some different things going on in their lives. And as the veteran, and if we've been identified that through our family or through our friends that they think that we got to change some things in our lives, we're too angry, we're too aggressive. We drink too much. If we're willing to move forward with that, knowing full well that maybe they're telling us something, maybe they're telling us a truth, it's the same thing as I got off the battlefield, or was on the battlefield, either one, and I expected the people that were covering my back to tell me the truth, what was going on. The same thing, when we get home, we expect the same thing from that team member, that for them to tell us the truth. If they're going to be watching our back, I want them to tell me the truth.
Doris, what was the point in your life after your military service? You had some challenges and you had some struggles. All of a sudden, you must have hit a point where you said, I've got to change.
Yeah, you're right, but that was like so many years later. I mean, because I did have...
That's a very important fact, because people don't come back and then 2 weeks later they go through a medical exam, and then 2 weeks later they might have a little talk, let's say, and then the rest of their life begins. Many of this does take a number of years before it really begins to surface and before you're able to really face the things that you've got to face so that you can move on.
And it's realizing that if we start looking at post-traumatic stress and traumatic brain injury, in some instances, individuals are coming home, it doesn't show up to 3, 4, 5 years later. until something clicks it into place. Something moves that, either pressure from the job, or maybe it's having 3 screaming kids when you walk home from the factory or the mine, and you get hit at the door. Some things click that in. Now it's realizing that I need that team to help support me to get through this. And going forward, in a sense, I have to be truthful to my team members. I'm not doing too well today. I may need a little more help or assistance today, or you may have to hold me more accountable today. So it's developing that teamwork and sharing and being truthful. What's going on with you? The more we hide, the tougher it is.
Right. Excellent point.
Fuzzy, you must act almost as an advocate at some times, in some occasions. I know if somebody is facing a medical issue, they may have a neurologist, they may have another clinician, they may have an endocrinologist, they may have a surgeon, but somebody kind of has to be overseeing the center of the wheel to be looking at all of the entities that this person is experiencing. Do you find that that's part of your role at times? Do you refer somebody, of course, to their physician, but then refer them to a hypnotherapist, refer them to somebody who might help them in Reiki? Do you find that you do that?
Yes, I do that quite a bit, because what I see is, let's say an individual comes back from an automobile accident, from a death, from combat. They're a fragmented puzzle.
Yeah.
To put this puzzle back together, it's going to take several different individuals getting involved with this individual's life. And also, too, during a period of time, you're going to have an upheaval. You're going to have the pieces of the puzzle that went together now that are apart. Or that there's too much pressure and the pieces are just crushing each other. In a sense, this puzzle is shifting all the time. So it's looking at, well, we're going to have the hypnotherapist come in. We're going to have the massage therapist come in. We're going to have, say, somebody come in that is a golfer. Somebody come in that's a cyclist. Somebody come in, and we're going to see how this puzzle fits for you during this time period. This may work great for you when you're home 5 months, but when you're home 3 years, it may not work. So it's always continually shifting in the sense of what's going to work now. How creative do we want to get? And sometimes that creativity comes about by accident. I may happen to walk into a bowling alley and find out this is the best thing this individual needed. Bowling.
Yeah.
So we can't dictate right up front what will fit. We just have to be open.
I am so excited to tell people that you are a Skyper, that people can reach you and have that initial talk with you. We are right at the close, Fuzzy. Again, we've flown through this hour, and we always appreciate the time and your insight and all of the wealth of knowledge that you always have for us. Doris, thanks as always for everything that you contribute, and
Thank
Sandra
you,
is on her way to do her next job. We'll be back next week. We've got another week with a great guest, and we want to make sure you're all with us. Join us next week here on Military Mom Talk Radio. Have a great week, everyone.